Positive energy all the time. Here we go. Good to see you all. You know the routine. Rep your city. Represent your city. Everybody on Facebook, I'm representing Chicago. Everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Well, here we go. I've been wanting to talk about this for a few days. This is not a popular conversation. Some people don't like it. I have mixed emotions about the way we're functioning when I speak of foundational Black Americans, the way we're living and functioning materialistically and economically. It's like we're stuck. We're stuck. And it's understandable, but it's very frustrating. And it's very hard for any particular generation of foundational Black Americans to fix this problem because we're kind of living in the moment. So it's hard to fix the problem. And the way we're dealing with the law is not helping, especially when it comes to marriage. So we're going to talk about it, the way we're dealing with marriage is very devastating to our people. The way we're dealing with it, the amount of selfishness, the amount of carelessness. Pretty much foundational Black Americans have accomplished lots of money and gave a lot of it right back. Right back. Yeah, watch who you be around. 100% correct. We got Boston in the building. Rep your city is 23 people over here. Let's get 23 likes. Let's make the likes match the people. As soon as you come in, hit the like button. We got San Jose in the building. We got Naptown in the building. We got New Orleans in the building. This is a hard conversation. I kind of got forced into this realization in a way, what I'm going to talk about. So it is very difficult for me to be stern on this because we're almost in a trick bag. Speaking in terms of foundational Black Americans, we're making a lot of money. we're losing a lot of it back, but we're really not developing a group mentality when it comes to money. It looks like right now there's a fear of us getting that together, so they want to go into a cashless society. Now that we're figuring out dollar bills and cash money, it looks like they want to flip the system before we learn how to function with cash money and go into a cashless society to run another trick bag on us. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like there's a whole plot to change over the way money is dealt with in order to keep us from reaching a high level. That's what it looks like. That's a whole nother video, but it does tie into this a little bit. This whole cashless, this whole crypto, this whole debit and credit, to me, is a trick. Now that we are learning how to deal with the cash money, take the cash money away. That's what it looks like to me. Of course, it's very easy to trick us because the trickology, what they do is they watch. And when everybody gets to a certain age, that means there's a whole new group. So every time a group of foundational Black Americans reach a certain age, that means there's a new group. And that new group don't know nothing from this new group. So they're able to run a new game on the next younger generation. This is why the system pushes, oh, you owe. That whole old thing is detrimental to us. They push you're old. And so once the younger generations say you old, then they start believing you're outdated. You don't know what's going on. When you're the only ones know what's going on. They're the ones don't know what's going on. They just got here. So now they're cut off from the older generation, cut off from the elders. And now you can run a game on them. You can run a game. Yeah, man. I've been beefing with I've been beefing with the credit card people for a minute, for a few months now. I've been beefing with them. But this is an interesting conversation. And I usually try to think of solutions, and this one I don't see a solution in sight. I don't see it because we're not connected from generation to generation, and they've pretty much got the younger generation. They're born into a cashless society. They don't even know it's a cashless society, and they pretty much got them. Me, I'm like the middle generation headed towards the older generation. They're trying to switch me over by overpowering me with the younger generation. And so they're overpowering us because they got a bunch of people going to do whatever they say so they could just change everything over, and then we're forced to have to deal with it. Nobody sees nothing. It's like having a vision and being able to see things that can't nobody else see. it almost makes it like you're amongst the blind. They're not really blind, but the vision is messed up because they haven't seen the change. So without seeing the change, you don't know what you're looking at. Real talk. So it's real slick the way they do it, but they've got the younger generation where you don't see the change. Got you. It's crazy. Good to see you, G-Rock. So they got the young generation where you don't see the change. They can make the change. You don't see it. The older generation sees it. Typically, the older generation, they've fed them so much artificial flavors, artificial coloring, preservatives, pharmaceuticals. They're pretty much like zombies and robots. So they have made them social robots. They start training you to be a robot early. This is what you do. You do this, you do this, you do this. This is how you have fun. You do this. This is fun. This is what you do. You're in a relationship. This is what you do. You got to do this. Everybody does it. So they get you to, you're in a relationship. This is what everybody else does in a relationship. That's what you do. Got you. You're basically a robot. So once they build that, if you're a man, for your woman to be happy, you got to do what all the other men doing. If you're a woman, you want him to be happy, you got to do what all the other women is doing. So once they get that robot, it's over. You have to be lucky enough to find an open mind and maybe marry, and you all live an alternative lifestyle amongst the robots. Because it's straight up robotic. Now I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to show you what I mean by the slow programming. Now I came up, you go to the cashier, you pay your money, you leave. After they got all these Walmarts had a whole bunch of cashiers. Slowly, they had the machines. So it'd be a bunch of cash registers, but only 2 open. So forward to now, and I would go to Target. And when I would go to Target, there's 2 cashiers back here behind me, and here in front of me, what you're looking at is the self-checkout. Now, they make it real convenient to go to the self-checkout, right? So everybody's going to the self-checkout. Boom. You get your item. You rake your credit card on the right, on that little thing on the right. Or you pay cash and you slide it under where it takes the cash. Right? So everybody's going to those because they have all those open so you can get in and out. They only got one register. Who wants to wait in line for the register? So boom, they get everybody brainwashed. So everybody's going to the self-checkout. You can rake your debit card, your credit card, your link card, or you could pay cash at the bottom. About 3 months ago, same Walgreens I go in, and this is at the top of these. So now you can still use these, but no cash. They're all the mark of the beast, and you can only use a card. I had to take a picture because I know people wouldn't believe me. So they slowly transferred you from a cashier to a machine that would take your cash or your card. Then they slowly changed over your machine to just card, no cash. So now if you got cash, you got to go to that one register that you didn't want to go to. That's why you start going to these machines. But now these machines do not take cash at all. These machines have a new sign that says card only. Contactless payments only. So they got everybody robot, and they're all going over there. Pretty soon, you'll have to have that barcode on your hand, and you'll have to have the mark of the beast to buy anything. It's real slick how they did it. I complained way back here on deaf ears, of course. Now all of these got a little yellow sign on the top of them. All these got a yellow little sign. No yellow little sign on this one. But now they all got this little sign that says cards only. No cash. So it went from no cashier to cards only, just like that. No cashier, cards only. So process, nice and slow. Nobody really pays a lot of attention. You just, oh, okay, oh, card only, and you just go along. Nice and smooth. It's crazy. You can't make this stuff up. So we'll get back to that. But that's absolutely crazy. They're doing it right in front of everybody. Right in front of your face. It's unbelievable. And so tonight I'm talking about FBA, Foundational Black Americans, which is a way to separate ourselves because they have been using Black immigrants to destroy everything that we built in this country and everything we've been through in this country. They have been bringing in immigrants to overshadow us and basically destroy us. And for the greed and for what they can get out of it, why would they care about you? If you can bring some people from South and Central America and Asia and Africa, and they can leave a messed up situation and come here and make it appear like it's a better situation, why would they care about stepping on you? So they've created a situation where people coming here stepping on us. Yeah, you could look at the Hispanics and the Asian, but the black ones, that's the heartbreaking. The Africans and the blacks from Africa and Caribbean, they're a huge disappointment. I'm not trying to generalize because I got a lot of friends, but overall, especially Africans, uh, they're a huge, huge disappointment because they won't even unite amongst themselves. So, how much can you depend on a bunch of people from a continent that won't put any type of self worth together continentally based on their skin color? And if they won't do that with themselves, overall they're going to be worthless, right? And anytime they come into an area where you at, it's going to be detrimental to you. And so black Caribbeans, black Africans stuff have become very detrimental to foundational black Americans. They're a negative for us. They are being used to push us back. There's no other way to say it. If you go on social media, you see they call it diaspora wars, which is weird. I don't think it's a war. But I do think it's totally disrespectful to come into a territory where other blacks have established themselves and try to go back and forth with the blacks that established themselves to make it possible for you to come over here. So overall, the Africans and the Caribbeans are totally wrong. Total disappointment. It's a shame when you wish other black people didn't even come. It would have been easier for us to go back and forth with Asians or the Hispanics, but for the black ones to come too and become like a thorn in our side and set us back, it's crazy. So now in sports and everything, they got a billion Africans. They can find somebody to run the ball. They can find somebody to shoot the ball. And for the foundational black Americans who are going to want more, they're able to take people that will accept less because it's more than what they had. So it's smart on the part of the system. And so they'll, oh, you come on over, you play in this movie, we could give you less. Well, that less is a lot to them. So they're able to undermine uh, their main opposition in America. So our main competition in America is able to undermine us by using other blacks that don't seem to understand that. So they're used to stop us from being so competitive with white America, basically. What else could you call it? They're not coming in and joining with us to create more competition. They're coming in and competing against us. So it's hard for us to compete against white America when they throw these black ones out there and these Hispanic ones. Which the Hispanic ones and Asian ones wouldn't be no problem if it wasn't for the black ones. The black ones is the one that makes it more difficult. So that's the dilemma we in. So we're trying to push for reparations. But with all this stuff going on now, we are not able to compete like we should be because we got all these other people. It's a predominantly white ran country. So they can take the resources and make sure the resources go to those that don't have our best interests. And here's white America, here's foundational black America, here's the rest of them, and to be able to take them to be a buffer so that we can't excel how we were doing before all of them started flooding over here and was let over here. You know that. And they were let over here in a way where they couldn't compete against white America like we could. They were let over here only to compete against us. So they're still kept down. And they bring them from countries where they don't care because down to them is still up compared to where they came from. So, brothers and sisters come over from Africa, anything they give them, they feel like it's great, which is not, but to them it's excellent. These brothers and sisters, they come and they try to walk like us, talk like us, look like us, and keep a little bit of the culture, of their own culture, so they could be like chameleons. Meanwhile, us, we're stuck in the economical system now. And so we're spending a lot of money that we had is leaving us. It's leaving us. And the system's been able to exploit poverty and exploit the concept of success, right? To get to the next level. I don't think you pretty much don't know what you're talking about, but if you say so, don't seem like you know much. So, I don't know. You spell it right. You don't have to put capitals, just spell it right. And what Jews do, Jews, white, saint, in, on that. Okay. English, okay? English, like English 101, okay? English 101. And don't troll. I have to get you out of here if you're trolling. So if you're a troll, I got to get you out of here. You can come back tomorrow if you're a troll. So we have a situation where these people that's coming in acting like tethers, I don't want to generalize, are causing uh, a situation where it's stopping our progress. We've already got a bunch of haters. Even the thing with the Jews, these are Europeans, but they call one white, they call the other one Jewish. For us, they look the same. They look like white people. That's a whole nother video for another day, right? So to us, I don't know the difference. That's a whole nother video. And so that's something going on between the Jewish people and I guess what you call the other white people, right? And there's some kind of battle there because, between them. I don't know what that is. But all this has slowed down our progress as far as stores, businesses, television. All this stuff slowed us down. All of them have slowed us down. All of these people that they piled on top of us when they start seeing our liberation and our growth, right? They start piling people on top of us, right? These people can't see it because they're the ones piling on. They're not the ones getting piled on, so they don't see it. But we see it. So they pile these people on, start taking away resources, right? These resources was only taken away and given to them to slow our growth. So once you slow our growth, they ain't nobody. They not going nowhere because they're new. So they're decades behind already. So when brothers and sisters come from Africa and stuff, they'll never get to where we're at now for decades and decades, right? But they will slow us down from going to the next level and kind of take us back because they not going to go there. There's no way. There's no way no Caribbeans and Africans are going to accomplish anything close to what we've accomplished all these years. Not even close. It would have been better for them to come and link in with us to finish building our growth and become a part of our growth. But they came as competition, which they're not. There is no competition. It's 50 million foundational Black Americans, right? So Africans and Caribbeans are no competition. They're just blockers, slowing down process for us, which keeps them down because they're never going to let them go anywhere. And so for them to be competing with us in a situation where they ain't going nowhere just shows you the plot. Black Caribbeans and Black Africans ain't going nowhere in this country like that as no groups. Never. They don't have to worry about the Africans because they're not Africans, right? So they don't have to worry about them because this one's Ethiopian, this one's Nigerian, this one's Ghanaian. So they're not a threat because they're not going to be a block. They're going to be a bunch of small groups. Perfect. They did it to the Mexicans, bring in the Venezuelans. You got Puerto Rican, you got Venezuelans. They're not going to go nowhere because they're a small block. Then you got white Americans. The only block big enough to compete is Black Americans. They don't have to worry about Asians because they're what? All this different. Everybody's a bunch of different stuff. They have to worry about Jamaicans because they and Trinidadians is two different things. The only one they have to worry about is the one that's one group, and that's foundational Black Americans. That's the threat. So the rest of them is used to keep that down, to slow down the situation. So what am I getting at? So that slows down stores, restaurants that foundational Black Americans would be opening. Africans, Caribbeans, other Blacks have destroyed that, have slowed that down, right? They've come in, taken away our jobs, our opportunity, came in and got positions that the ones that was really into slavery was supposed to get, came and ate off of slavery, came and ate off of civil rights, came and really leached off of all our hard work, right? And so the other Blacks came and leached off our hard work. And the reason I say leech, because they never joined in and respected the hard work. They just came and benefit off of it and pretending that they got where they got on their own. No respect for Malcolm X, no respect for MLK, no respect for Rosa Parks, no respect for all the Blacks that made it so any Black could even be in the country, or any Hispanic or any Asian, because they used to then. Coloreds were not Black people. Coloreds were coloreds. You had whites and you had coloreds, and coloreds were Hispanics, Asians, and Blacks. And red people were coloreds. That's why they said coloreds. We were specifically Negroes, El Negro. Coloreds, which a lot of these scholars is not teaching at all, coloreds was everybody else. What now they call minorities. So these people came in and made sure that we all stay minorities by being a bunch of weirdo separate groups and slowed down the pace. So now that slowed down our growth, our stores, our TV shows, our inventions. So now we have to spend money with the dominant society because these other people slow down us, creating our own things to spend with. This is what the Africans have done, the Caribbeans, the Jamaicans, and all of the Asians, all the Hispanics. They have slowed down our ability to build our own so that we can spend our money with ourselves. So they have forced us to keep spending money with the dominant society. Because they're never going to have that. You're never going to. When the African brothers and sisters came to Chicago, they was on the north side. And they had little stores, all that flop. They have no businesses in America. There's no chain of grocery stores that Africans got. There's no chain of grocery stores that Mexicans got. There's no chain of grocery store that any Asians got or any of them. They have little stuff in their little neighborhoods, but they are not competing with white America. The only ones that was going to compete with white America was foundational Black America. These other ones are no competition, but they did make us not competitive. They took away our competitive ability because they took money off the table that was ours. They came and ate off our plate. And they waited. They let us do all the bleeding, and then they came. They didn't do none of the heavy lifting, none of the bleeding, nothing. They came afterwards. They all came from 19th century on. No one of them showed up in the 60s when it was smoke. You didn't start seeing Africans and Caribbeans until the mid to late 70s when the coast was clear. They just came and ate. They didn't cook nothing. And so now we're in a situation where we're spending money into a system that don't respect us. Let's take a break and I'm going to finish. When you look at like 50 Cent down in New Orleans, see, we've been at that level to do that. Tyler Perry and all that. We've been at that level. We've been at that level to make that happen. But these other people came and blocked us because they eating our money. They're eating off our table. They're eating. They didn't cook the food. They came and ate, right? And so Africans, all these people from the South and Central Americans, Mexicans, a lot of these Asians that came recently, they just came to eat. They didn't cook anything. They come and eat off our plate, which makes us not able to grow, which keeps us stuck, and then they're definitely stuck. So they're a non-factor. They're going nowhere. And once they get them to knock us down, they're going to deport a lot of them that don't have their paperwork and all, they're going to be gone. They're going to get rid of them because they're not going to let them do what they stopped us from doing. And so as soon as any black Africans or anything make any kind of noise that's similar to what we were starting to do in the 70s, they're going to get them out of here. But they've already done the job and slowed us down. So now for us, we're stuck in the rut where foundational Black Americans is trying to live a good life. The next younger generations, they want to go on vacations. They want to go to Dubai. They want to buy nice clothes. Okay? The women, they want nice bags. The men, they want to wear nice suits, nice clothes, expensive tennis shoes, none of which we make. We don't make none of it. We're just consumers. But because of the poverty and the struggle that we was getting out of before all these leeches came, I can't tell you don't go and enjoy your life because you grew up struggling. We wasn't allowed to get you to the point where you wasn't struggling. Then you wouldn't be so desperate to have fun. The reason you want to have fun so much is because of that struggle that you was kept in all that time, that poverty that we was getting rid of. If you, I talked about this, they keep talking about integration and civil rights set us back. That's a lie. Immigration set us back. With integration and civil rights, we was living the best we ever could have lived. Black Americans was doing really well in the 70s and in the 80s. That's at the same time they let all these people in. And if you look at 20, 30 years after they let these people in, look at our situation. It's been going down and nobody talk about that. That's why it went down. And in cases where they couldn't bring people in, they took their jobs out. They sent the auto factories to Mexico and they went and looked for what they call cheap labor. They started having stuff manufactured in these third world countries and Africa and Asia. So they wouldn't have to pay us to make it for a decent price. Just let them make it and send it over here. This is what's going on. That took jobs from us too. Having people somewhere make it, they don't have to be clean or nothing. When the pandemic broke out, they had to get all these masks, right? The little cloth masks. And they showed the people making the mask. The mask was all on the ground and everywhere. It was unsanitary conditions making the mask that you're supposed to wear to protect you from COVID. This is what's going on still right now. So it's got us in a rut because they brought all these leeches on top of us. You would think, okay, black people break through, it's the 70s, let them do their thing, right? Let them blow. No, start bringing in a bunch of people before we even get our hands wet to do what we got to do. You look up, you go to the hospital, here's all these African nurses, here's all these Filipino nurses. For what? This way, that position's not there for blacks. So now you get rid of all the programs, all the FEMA, all the programs they used to have. Like in the 70s, early 80s, they had all these programs you could go to where you can learn to be a dentist. You be a dentist assistant. They had all kind of programs where you could go and learn how to be an electrician, plumber, welder, pipe fitting, all of that. They used to have programs to go through. They took all that money, they spent it on immigrants to bring them in and give them money. Not only did they bring them in, they let them open businesses. They don't have to pay taxes for 7 years. Bring them in your neighborhoods, and they can open stores, don't have to pay no taxes. And after they have the store 7 years, they can give it to the uncle, and then that's another 7 and another 7, right in the black community. While you're paying taxes, if you make any little money, you paying taxes. Then you go and spend your money at a store with some foreigners that don't have to pay nothing. 100%. See the program. You have to see the program. My friend went there to become a dental assistant, and then he became a dentist. Got rid of all of that. Gave it to foreigners. They came in. I remember when they started coming in. It was in the 70s. In the 70s. I worked at a book factory. First it was 1 African, then 2 Africans, and right? They couldn't afford to keep paying the taxes. Chicago was ripping them off, so the whole factory left. But they started bringing in these people. And when you go to a hospital now, you hardly ever see a foundation of Black American. And the treatment is horrible. Yes, it burns real deep. If you go to the hospital, anybody could tell you, even the brother England told me, if you go to the hospital, you don't want no African nurse. Now, the Filipinos ain't too bad, but the Africans are the worst nurses in America. The meanest and the worst. Nobody wants them. You don't want them working on you. The disdain is unbelievable. When I got stabbed and I was in a hospital in LA, they had this African nurse. I had to call the head of the hospital to tell them, don't send her back. Don't send her here. Don't send her. I don't want her touching me. I don't want her administering no medicine to me. Man, that lady was like the devil for no reason. The hate is just be seething. You know, coming up, there was a time I was like a Pan-African. And so when I would be going out and I would get in these elevators, I was always really reaching out to Africans. I had to stop doing it because they would look at me like, don't speak to me. Black men, Black African men. I get it, hey, how you doing, brother? And you could just see, I said, dang. Oh, you really ain't no brother. Oh, wow. So I just stopped speaking to him. Because the vibe was just like, don't talk to me. A lot of my friends, they have to act like they are Jamaican or something to get an African to pick them up in the cab. They won't pick you up. One time, man, when I lived down on 31st Street, I came out of my apartment. It was an African cab driver. He was cursing out 2 older Black ladies. They was like in their 70s and 80s. And he was like in his late 20s, early 30s. He was cursing these Black women out, some older Black women. Like they was dogs or something. Something he would never do in his country. And so that right there set us off, right? Slowed down our progress, not to mention the substance abuse and stuff that come into the community. So then all of that lack of money coming us to build for ourselves extended us spending money with other people. So when you get to now, you see foundational Black Americans just throwing money away. The ones that are still moving up from all that hard work in the 60s, 70s, they're still moving up. But when they're moving up, they're going backwards because moving up now is, oh, they want to go to Dubai. They want to go on a fancy trip. They want to buy expensive cars. They want to buy real expensive purses and bags, real expensive shoes. This is what foundational Black Americans are doing. But none of that money is ours. We don't make any of that stuff. We don't have anything to do with the trips. We don't have anything to do with the planes. We don't have anything to do with the shoes, the bags, or nothing. Right? So there's a poverty mentality. Like, oh, I was in poverty. Right? I was in poverty. So now I need to buy all of this stuff to try to get over the poverty that America has forced on us through manipulation. So then our economic situation will be nothing. So we don't get no respect because foundational Black Americans keep throwing their money away, and then you get no respect. You're never going to get any respect if you're throwing your money away. Right? You're never going to get any respect. We're never going to get any respect because we're throwing our money away. Where does the African disdain come from towards America blacks? Jealousy. All the time in the 60s and the 70s, they had to live in Africa and watch everybody praising Black Americans. They had to watch everybody hollering for Jackie Robinson, Dr. J, Aretha Franklin, James Brown. We was the biggest Muhammad Ali in the whole world, to where the people in Africa was looking up to us more than them. And so that created hate. So they began to hate us. This is why the Jamaicans called us Yankees like that, because originally the Jamaicans was praising us. They singing Aretha Franklin. They singing Chubby Checker. They singing Fats Domino. And when somebody look up to you, but it's not them, that turns into hate. So our greatness turned into hate to them. They can't stand us still today. If you look with other blacks, they're main competitive. They want to beat us. They don't want to beat nobody else but us. They don't consider it a great win unless they outdo us. If it's track and field and some Black women run against some Jamaican women, if they beat the Black Americans, they feel that's the greatest win ever. Nobody else do they get any pride off of beating. Nobody. You look at the African man, how distant he is from the foundational Black American man. He got no respect. He won't speak. He's rude. All of that. Go in a hospital. The African man, the only man that he speaks to and he smiles with is a white man. Anybody that work in a hospital tell you, the African man, the only man that he's cordial with, smiling, is a white man, not a Black man. He looks up to the white man and he looks down on the foundation of Black America. This is a fact. And he has nothing to offer the white man, the African man, or the Black. He have nothing. Have absolutely nothing. Because they followers. So they want the Mercedes-Benz. They want his car. We were getting to the point where we were going to develop our own cars. We were buying cars, and we didn't like the car way we was buying. We was doing customization to our cars to make our cars different than them. As a matter of fact, I'll come back tomorrow. As a matter of fact, all of those customizations and things we were doing, those things, right, they stole. If you look back in the 90s, the 90s were the era of customized cars. Now, I got to give Jamaicans props. They was doing the sound systems. But it was the foundation of Black Americans that was put up the TVs, the sound systems, and all that stuff in the cars. By the time you got to the 2000s, the car industry put certain technical things in the car where you couldn't change the car system. You couldn't change the sound system. So they made the car with all these computer chips. So when I went to get a new car stereo, he said, I can't put it in this car because they got computer chips they put in here. So you can't. They started putting speakers in the doors. They start putting bigger speakers in the back. They start putting a loud surround sound in the cars. Regular cars, factory cars, sound system didn't sound like it do now. They didn't have speakers in the doors. You had two speakers, a speaker in the front and two speakers in the back. That's it. There was no speakers in the doors and all of that. They took that from us and started making that standard. There's no connection between foundational Black American men and African men. None at all. African men, basically, when you look at them overall, because I got some African friends, but overall are enemies. Not meaning go to war or nothing, but those are no associates at all. Those are just straight enemies. It's not about blaming somebody. It's about the disdain for us. They have a natural disdain for us being so great for so long. And it's a natural hatred, jealousy to the bone. There's no other way you can explain somebody that cheered for us in the 50s and the 60s and hated us in the 80s and the 90s and 2000. What flipped? What flipped is all of the praise. Imagine you in Africa and everybody in Africa is praising Muhammad Ali, right? But not you. So it turned to hate and disdain. That was promoted right there in Africa because they hate each other. They hate each other. Africans don't like Africans like that. The whole Africans don't like, nobody in Africa likes Nigerians. Nigerians are the worst Africans in Africa. Africans don't, that's why they had xenophobia, because the Nigerians was coming down to South Africa and Ghana and being the same way they are over here. So they was beefing. They be beefing in Africa. They don't, The Nigerians is mainly at fault for all this, Nigeria, because that's the area where slavery of their own people, and they got the biggest population. So as Nigeria goes, Africa goes. And Nigeria is full of haters. It's the hater capital of Africa. Ask anybody, ask any African. Between them and the East Africans that think they white is a disaster. Because you got East Africans that they ain't Africans. And who's the main ones we got to deal with? Nigerians and Ethiopians. I used to be at the reggae show, and because of Haile Selassie, Rasta look up Haile Selassie, Ethiopians would come, but don't like nobody there. They wasn't coming to be a part of the reggae festival. They were coming to say we're the best ones because of Haile Selassie. They wasn't coming. They never came. Ethiopians never came to reggae and stuff to be a part of the culture. They came to look down on everybody. I cussed out a lot of Ethiopians. Imagine you come to a reggae fest, you walk up to my booth, you see Haile Selassie buttons and T-shirts, and you say to me, why do you have our king? How he would say. That's what they would say. And I would say something like, why did you talk to me? Get the hell away from my booth. Just like that. Shut up talking to me. They, you know what I'm saying? They all be like that. Not in Chicago, because Chicago's a little rough around the edge, so they just stayed away from us. You know what I'm saying? But in other places like LA, Florida, places like that, oh yeah. Now in Chicago's we the most revolutionary, we the roughest in the country. We ain't going for none of that. You gotta understand, when you get into the center of the country, it's straight FBA. And when you get to the edges, it's immigrants, right? But when you get to the heart of America, which is Chicago, that's just white America, black America. That's it. That's Chicago. White Americans, black Americans. And this is not an immigrant city. There's some immigrants here, but we're not on the coast. This ain't Florida. This ain't Los Angeles, San Diego. This not Texas down on the border. We ain't by no border. This just America. That's why they call this the heartland. That's what the rest, that's the arms and the legs. So they out, you know what I'm saying? It's different. So they don't really, they just stay away from us in Chicago and find they don't really like being here. They like move where it's a bunch of them. So they rather live in New York, Miami, like that. Immigrants rather live close to the edges of the country where a lot of immigrants. They don't really like Chicago. And so I'm saying all this to say that all of that has blew our situation, right? So then our investments got dwindled down. So now have the next younger generation come and we wasn't able to pass that strip down because we had all these other people, bloodsuckers, come and suck it all away. So now our youth coming up and they feel impoverished because we wasn't able to wipe that out. When you look at the substance abuse and all the things they threw at us, the penitentiary system, how they turned the penitentiary system into money. They get a lot of money for every black person they lock up. They make money from that. So they set it up for you to be locked up to make that money from the penitentiary system. That caused us to long for stuff that we shouldn't have been longing for. We're not supposed to be, our women not supposed to be wanting them purses. Our women ain't supposed to be wanting all them hairstyles like that. Them hairstyles should have been over in the 80s. But our women still want these hairstyles. Even worse, they want pink hair, pink nails. They went the other way. And so now we're just throwing money away. So nobody respects us because none of the money is circulating for foundational Black Americans to do nothing. Anytime you're not circulating your money within your own nation, nobody going to respect you. So in the eyes of everybody coming to America, we ain't nothing but a customer. We ain't nobody but somebody to smile with when we come in to order some Chinese food, or when we walk up to the African booth to buy something. Then it's like, my brother, you want this, so you like this, you like that. That's what we are. We just somebody to sell stuff to. And if you don't spend no money with them, they don't got no respect for you. We just blowing money. So when we do get successful, we buy all these tester roasters, we buy all these Jaguars, we buy all these Bentleys and Benzes and Rolls Royces, we buy all these expensive clothes. We have no equity in none of that. None. no equity. That has affected this current generation is messed up because of all of that. When they cut us off from excelling, it messed up this generation here right today. So that's why I can't really get on everybody's case because they feel oppressed. And so when they get some money, I want to go to Dubai. I want to fly here. They want to experience the good life, which we could have experienced through business. But because we were sabotaged with immigration to slow us down as far as business, now the only way they could feed that hunger is by throwing money away they do get. So when they do get some money, boom, they throw it away. Because you were supposed to get the money from your own businesses. But they didn't let you do that. So you got to get in the NBA to get some money. You got to get in somebody else's thing to get rich. And that don't quench the thirst. So you go give all the money back. Based on data from early 2025 and projections from leading market research firms, Black American consumer spending power is estimated to be approximately at 1.8 trillion to 1.98 trillion annually. This figure represents the collective purchasing power of Black Americans, which is projected to grow to over 2.1 trillion by 2026. Discretionary spending. As of fall 2025, Black households were responsible for $272 billion in discretionary spending on non essentials, a 44% increase over the previous 5 years. 272 billion we spend on stuff that's not essential. Key sectors. Black consumers are driving significant spending in beauty products, entertainment, and digital media. Beauty products. All those beauty products, none of them promote blackness. They all promote our women to try to look like she got Hispanic hair or European hair, whatever. None of it is promoting natural black hair, black beauty, nothing. It's all to look least black as possible. That's what it's here to promote. They got the men, they think that's beautiful. So the women is doing what the men think is beautiful because they got the men thinking that's beauty. This is all the men's fault because the men think they women is beautiful. When if you go, you think I'm lying. Anybody go on social media, go on Instagram, and look at the men with their women, and look how them women look. Them women is trying to look as white as possible. The men is not with black looking women. 98% of black men, women, they want her to look like a European. Her hair is straight. She stay at the beauty shop, and she don't look black. And the men stay at the barbershop because they don't want no nappy hair on their head. They fight blackness. They don't even think their wife is looking non-black. They'll tell you, I'm telling you, they got no idea what their wife is looking like. They gonna say she look pretty with some fake hair that she straightened out. It's not her hair. It's not her hair. Damn near every black man in this country, none of their women got no natural hair. All they women got their European hairstyle to look as non-black as possible. That's a fact. Ain't standing and smile with her. He don't even know what he looked like. I'm one of the few people that see him what they look like. Everybody else say, "Oh, that's a beautiful couple. Oh, your wife is so beautiful." That's what they all gonna say. They think she's beautiful like that. Meanwhile, cancer going through the roof. They don't know why all these black women got breast cancer, this cancer, that cancer. They got their wife putting all them chemicals on their head. She got blonde hair. Now, none of their hair is a natural color. All their head is full of chemicals. Their daughter's hair is full of chemicals. Their mama's hair is full of chemicals. All the women in their family, their hair is full of chemicals. Hear the brothers say salute to Pharaoh and the chat tonight. Natural beauty is the best beauty. These women don't need fake hair or color dye. I don't understand why they waste money. Well, is it them or is it the men? They're not wasting money. That's what the men want. That's if the men didn't want that, the women wouldn't do it. Women is only going to do what men like, and men love it. So it's not the women, it's the men. It's the men. When they were selling Barbie and that look to the women, they was also selling it to the men. They were selling it to all the children. This is beauty. Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Snow White. They just sell that. That's beauty, straight hair. That's what it is. Nappy hair is not beauty. So the woman, put some straight hair in your head. The man, go to the barbershop and cut that nappy hair off your head. Keep your hair low. Keep your hair low. So the black man got to go to the barbershop every week. Every week he got to cut that off. He can't have no hair on his head. Typically the black man got no hair on his head because it's nappy. He's worse than the woman. The woman is doing what he wanted her to do. There is nothing that a woman do that she don't do for a man. And so the sisters is not doing that for themselves. They're doing that for the black man. And in many cases, the black man, when he gets the first opportunity to go to another country and get him a Hispanic girl or something like that, that's the first thing he do. Because she following him. He's supposed to be the leader. But the black man has self-hate too. It got to a point where there was one point they were saying everybody light skinned looked the best. It was a light skinned dude, like, oh, he cute. It was a light skinned woman, oh, she fine. And so black people were doing colorism big time. Big time. You had to be Christopher Williams. You had to be light to be the symbol of beauty in the black community. You had to be light. Everybody know it. They just don't want to say nothing. They had the women putting that stuff on their face to lighten their skin. I forgot what's the name of that cream they put on their face. They put that cream on their face to lighten their face. Even my grandmama and them, they used to put that makeup on that lighten you. My grandmama had that thing in her purse, and she was always rubbing that stuff on her face. This goes way back to my grandmama and great grandmama. Got passed down to my mother, then got passed down to my sister. Get passed down to the babies. The most money that black barbershops ever made was for the afro. When we had the afro, the black barbershop stayed packed. Once they got rid of the afro, the black barbershop is nothing now. Light skin is very, very, very much favored. Very, very much. The self-hate is Unbelievable. That goes along with the hate for nature. I had to do something, I need to cut this off. I'm thinking based on what? I like to tell me based on what do I need to cut this off? Based off of what the system told them. The system told them, this I need to shave. Well, who told them? The system told them. Right? So check this out. Look. Real talk. While not true for all, many black entertainers, like many Americans, are often just 1 to 2 paychecks away from financial instability, as highlighted by Gabriel Union. Factors include industry pay disparity, high expenses, supporting family, and structural, systemic, or generational wealth gaps. Industry disparities. Black actresses earn roughly 64 cents and directors and producers 68 cents for every dollar their white counterpart earn, according to National Partnership research. So you only get about almost a little over half of what the others get. They get $1, you get 65 cents. Lifestyle and costs. High costs for staff, taxes, and supporting extended family can create paycheck to paycheck lifestyle despite high earnings. Systemic factors. 76% of black consumers live paycheck to paycheck, according to Archives survey. Furthermore, the median wealth in white household is significantly higher, with white families holding $1 for every 15 cents held by black families. So if you got 30 cents, that's $2 for them. If you got 60 cents, that's $4 for them. So if you got $1, that's like $5 or $6 for them. $5 or $6 for every dollar you got. Systemic vulnerability. In the entertainment industry specifically, black-led projects are often underfunded. And you know why they're underfunded? I told you, because we're not funding them. You know why we're not funding them? If they're not paying you, they're preventing you from funding it. So if they underpay you, what can you fund? It's a catch-22. If you getting 15% for every dollar they get, who's going to be able to fund stuff and who's not? You're not going to be able to fund nothing because you get underpaid. It's systemic racism and systemic slavery. There it is right there. Right there in your face. Look, approximately 60 to 80% of professional athletes face serious financial distress or bankruptcy shortly after retirement. Studies indicate about 78% of NFL players go broke within 3 years and 60% of NBA players within 5 years, with black athletes often disproportionately affected due to lack of financial guidance and predatory financial situations. Key findings on athlete financial health. The NFL and NBA widely cited 2015 Sports Illustrated article estimated 80% of retired NFL players go broke within 3 years, while 60% of NBA players face similar issues within 5 years. Timing. The crisis occurs rapidly, with many athletes experiencing bankruptcy within 2 to 5 years of leaving their sport. Factors. Factors include high tax burdens, supporting extensive networks of family, friends, extravagant spending, and investment fraud. Context. Black athletes who make up a significant portion of these leagues, roughly 74.8% in the NBA and 58.9% of NFL as of 2019, often face these challenges, highlighting a need for better financial literacy and wealth protection. So, what am I saying? I'm saying psychologically, your lack of causes you to spend, which messes up the money that would get you out of that frame of mind. So your reaction to your money situation extends the money situation and makes it worse for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So when you say, how could you fix it? How can you fix it when you're desperate to go experience certain things? If I tell you, sit down, you're going to be like, yeah, but Pharaoh, I got to enjoy my life. I got to live my life. So you're going to go on trips, you're going to spend money, and you're going to put your children in that same situation. There is no way foundational Black America can get out of that situation unless you sit your ass down somewhere. Period. Unless you sit your ass down. Period. That's why, for me, relationships is hard, because sometimes a woman don't want to sit her ass down. She want to run. And she'll do that in her 30s and we'll be messed up in our 40s. And she'll do that in her 40s, we'll be messed up in her 50s. And she'll do that in her 50s, we'll be messed up in the 60s. And now we got less money coming in and we're done. Because when we was younger and the money was coming in, she wouldn't sit her ass down. And when you don't sit your ass down, you're headed for poverty. Period. Anybody tell you that. Any hustler tell you that. When you see a hustle and you see us doing real good, you know we sat down to get there like that, right? You know we didn't go nowhere. Ask somebody. You don't go nowhere. That's why I could be in a relationship and be living from bill to bill. And I could be single and then I got money. I've been in relationships where the woman want to live a certain type of life, Smith. I separate. I go sit down somewhere. She keep doing the same thing. Within a year or two or something like that, my phone is ringing. Can you loan me $500? Can you loan me $300? I loan it, but guess what? I got it and she don't. So I'm basically helping her jag off money. That's why you don't got it. So now I'm sacrificing. That's why I got it. And now I got to help you out. But you got to give me the money back. I'm not giving it to you. You got to give me that back. When you going to pay me back? Because you hard-headed. And so when you can do that in your lifetime, imagine if you do that in a whole generation, but then the next children going to come up and feel that they missing something, and all that money you save and pass down to your seed, they going to go blow it chasing the rainbow. Talk about you gotta enjoy your life. You gotta enjoy your life. And you never enjoy your life because you're messing up your money. So even though you're going on trips, you're stressed out the whole time. You're like these families that go on these trips, have a good time, use their credit card, and come back home and don't let everybody know how hard they're working to get that credit card paid back down. And by the time they get it paid back down, a few more months go by, it's summer again, they go do the same stupid stuff over and over and over and over. And even if they do save some money, got a good job and get the stuff, they ain't taught their children nothing. That money gonna be gone. Soon as they get that inheritance to the next generation, it's still gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. You're just saving it for nothing because you're not teaching the next generation. You're not teaching nobody the value of letting the money grow. You keep chasing fun, but it's not fun. It's a trick to get your money. They telling you, you need to do this. The commercials, everybody telling you need to take a trip to Europe. You need to take a trip to the Bahamas. That's how they make money. Of course you need to go to the Bahamas so the plane can make money, so the hotels in the Bahamas can make money. It's not for you. You're not going to the Bahamas for you. You're going to the Bahamas for the businesses to get the money. And if those people raise them business, that got them businesses function different than you, they going to be rich. They finally going to be rich because they not going to blow their money. You going to blow yours for an experience. That's basically trash. All them experiences, y'all experiences, all trash. All that stuff you say you're doing, you're enjoying your life, is all trash. You're a sucker. It's all trash. Facts. I was blessed to get that knowledge because I ended up living in Hawaii and I was living there. So I was able to watch the tourists, all suckers. They fly to Hawaii, stay a week or stay a weekend, drop off a bag and leave. I'm in Hawaii, sleeping under a coconut tree, ain't spending a dime. Living, enjoying what they fly and spending all that money just to come for nothing. Thinking you did something because you went to Hawaii. You didn't do nothing. You're just a sucker. You just threw your money away, escaping the rat race. So if they could get you in the rat race, then they can sell you rat relief. You work hard. Go to Bahamas. You work hard. Go to Paris. Okay? Work you, then make you get on the money back. Go on a trip to feel like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I work hard, but man, look at my car. I work hard. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. You never thought that you worked hard to get that money to give it to the man that sold you that car. You think you got something. But you didn't do nothing but give your hard work and your body and your life to them so they could pass that wealth, generational wealth, down to their children. They not dragging that money off like you. Their money going into funds and stuff like that to pass down. Some of you are smart and you give it to your children to pass down, but you ain't taught them nothing, so they going to mess it up. So you save all this money for the next generation and give it to the next generation, and it's gone. When you go to that stuff, when you go to Jamaica, nothing you buy in Jamaica is made in Jamaica. It's all made in Taiwan, China. Bob Marley on there. It's supposed to be the Jamaican flag. The colors is off. It ain't even the real color, all that. You coming back with a souvenir from Jamaica that ain't the souvenir made in China, made in Taiwan. Now imagine going to Jamaica. It used to be a time you go to Jamaica, somebody in Jamaica carve you something, you bring it back, you got a real Jamaican souvenir. Now you go to Jamaica, you go to all these places about the souvenir not even from the place. When you go to Africa and you buy some material in Africa, that material's made in Europe. None of that material is made in Africa. I think they only got maybe 1 or 2 prints in the whole of Africa that's actually made in Africa. There's only a couple prints left in Africa that's authentic African prints. Ask somebody. All the rest of them prints, none of them is African prints. Who remember when mud cloth first came out and it was real mud cloth? And then you start seeing all that different mud cloth. None of that was mud cloth. It was a mud cloth print, but that was not traditional African mud cloth. It was made in Europe. And then they overcharge you because you're out of town. You got to pay. Because you bought this in Jamaica, or you bought this in Spain, or you bought this, but it ain't even made there. It's made in Asia. Almost every souvenir you buy is not from the country, it's from Asia. Now imagine saying, I bought this back from Italy, but it ain't from Italy. That's the scam. So foundational Black Americans, they blow money, and that's why you don't got no respect. Nobody gonna respect you if they could take all your money. For foundational Black Americans to get some respect, they're gonna have to stop spending money. Period. Cold turkey. You only buy the exact necessities. That's it. Food, clothing, shelter, minimum entertainment, minimum. They say, well, so I work out time, I go on vacation. You can go on a vacation, but you can't blow a bunch of money when you get back. That's where you're messing up at. You go on a vacation, you spend some money. Cool. You want to get away to get a breather so you can go back to work. But when you get back, what do? You go here, you go there, you go here, you go there, you go here. You try to please a woman and she never get full. She never get pleased. You could take her to Spain. And when you come back with your woman from Spain, let's say you get back July the 1st. She trying to go do something before July is over. Before July is over, she trying to be back in the streets. Now, you done took her all the way to Spain. That ain't enough. She won't sit her black ass down and cook July and August and cook at home and enjoy home. No. Before summer's over, she going to be trying to go to some concert or something. Now you don't want to spend a dime right now because the economy crashing. Eric TV, you know what's up. The economy crashing. Them people going to wish they would have kept that money. I ain't lying. I done took women on trips and they mad on the trip. I done took women on the trip. She act like she don't want to have sex or nothing. The first night in the hotel, she got an attitude. Fresh trip. Try to get mad on the way to the place. Come back home, she don't act like you did nothing. It's like it never happened. You wasted your money. Threw your money away. She's still an asshole. Got the attitude while she out of town. Facts. I'm telling you straight up, been there, done that. Been there, done that. And we economically behind and we trying to do something and follow a race that's economically ahead. And wonder why we ain't gonna never catch up and why we gonna go further and further into poverty. I left her alone. I mean, I didn't leave her alone right then because we be having children, we be married, so we just brush it off. We just brush it off. We don't dump them. We don't brush them off. You know what I'm saying? What you do in a situation like that, you just don't go nowhere for a while. That's all. You even it out. You don't go nowhere for a while. You even it out. You don't have to dump them. They'll destroy that. They'll destroy the relationship on their own. Just leave them alone. They'll destroy it. Just let it happen. Let it play out. If you're married, she gonna rob you. Rick, as a man, you're supposed to spoil your queen. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not supposed to spoil no queen. Spoiled fruit is rotten. You know what spoiled is? You see how he said spoiled like it's a good thing? Spoiled is rotten. So he's saying you're supposed to make her rotten. Do you eat spoiled food? Do you eat spoiled food? Don't listen to him. You're not supposed to spoil your woman or your children. They're supposed to, what you get for them is supposed to be something decent, but spoil means you're overdoing it. So maybe you're using the wrong word. Spoil is overdoing it. If I take a woman on vacation, I'm not trying to spoil her. I'm just taking on a vacation. That's not spoiling. So maybe he's using the wrong word. But spoil is a negative word. But the fact that they use the word spoil as something positive just show you the society we live in. All of these athletes and stuff, right? They spoil their women, don't they? Don't they get divorces? Do women that spoil stay with the men? Do rich men that spoil their wives, do those relationships work out? Oh, blue. Do they work out? All of these rich dudes that buy them. Hey, y'all seen on Valentine's Day? Y'all ever seen Valentine's Day with the famous couples? And you see they have all the petals and all that. Do they stay married? Every one of these celebrities get a divorce. What was Valentine's Day like? It was the greatest Valentine's Day ever, wasn't it? It was a Valentine's Day that regular person, you can't afford to do that for her, right? Do they stay together? Do they stay together? No. No. They don't stay together. Go look when Valentine's Day, go back and look at last Valentine's Day. And look at the pictures of celebrities and throw down the rose petals and all that. They don't stay together. No. The more you spoil a woman, the less she's going to treat you like a king. Because the relationship is give and take and give and take. And when you give and give and give, you ain't going to get nothing. Listen, when you give and give and give and give and give, you ain't going to get nothing. You ain't going to get nothing. You ain't going to get nothing. And then when you call somebody a queen, but they not queenly, or you call somebody a king, and they're not kingly, you're misusing the word. You understand? The OGs, my uncles and great uncles and them say, when you give a woman everything, you ain't gave her nothing. That's what all the old schools used to tell me. They said, when you give a woman everything, you haven't given her nothing. That's what they used to tell me. That's an old saying, which your great granddaddies and great great granddaddies and great 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 granddaddies used to say that. It's looked at as weakness, and you can't buy love. He said, look, he said, women can get their own money nowadays. If you don't really show out, they think you ain't nothing. Well, if you with a woman and you got to show out to keep her, then you ain't nothing anyway. If you got to do that to keep her, then she ain't trying to keep you. You're trying to keep her. So when you're in a relationship and you're trying to keep her, you a loser. Because she ain't trying to keep you. You're trying to keep her. Oh, Blue, you better listen to me. Now, you might be old. But one thing for sure, I know men that gave women everything and she cheated on them with a mug that didn't have nothing. As a matter of fact, they'll take what you gave them and give them to their broke lover on the side. You don't know what you're talking about, Blue. Okay? When you do that, you ain't doing nothing. They never appreciate it. They ain't going to appreciate that. And what happens with a woman like that is every relationship she get in, it's going to go bad because the man taught her the wrong thing about a relationship. Once you get a woman and you teach her that, you just making her where nobody going to be able to deal with her. Because anytime you do too much for anybody, they not going to do nothing for you. And in any relationship, whether it's parenting or marriage, it's got to be just how you breathe. You breathe in, you breathe out. You don't breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe. You don't. That's not how you live. It's got to flow. And what he's saying is what's being done. What he's saying is done. And divorce is through the roof. So what he's saying is definitely not working. What he's saying is what people are doing. And what's the divorce rate? How a marriage is doing. Because what he's saying, that's exactly what men are doing. Men are getting married, having the biggest, most exotic wedding ever. The biggest wedding ever. Do they stay married? No. And a lot of times they're going to leave you for somebody who ain't got nothing. And they're going to run around and try to give him everything because he don't got nothing. Anybody tell you that? Because you're dealing with people that's already been messed up from when they was young. So when you talk about women, what you do for a woman, you're leaving out the fact that she used to be a little girl. And as a little girl, if she was taught wrong, she going to grow to be a woman that's taught wrong. Let's take a break. Because she wasn't always no woman. She was a little girl. And if she got the bad influences as a little girl, one way or the other, she's going to be messed up. So if, let's say she's a little girl and she grew up poor and struggling, she's going to have issues. You're going to have to try to overcompensate her childhood. These are facts. And you wonder why you got to do all this. That's because she's trying to make up for what she didn't have. Let's take a break. And this is what I was saying from the very beginning of this conversation. The things we done, we got to go cold turkey, right? We have to go cold turkey or it's never going to stop. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. We have to reverse that. We have to reverse our spending. We have to reverse the way we're going on dates. We got to reverse how we've been dealing with relationships. I'm telling y'all, we're going to have to reverse what we've been doing. Eventually, we're going to have to see it's not working. Marriage is not working. Friendships is not working. Our economical situation is not working. How long we going to keep doing what ain't working? The future is get in a relationship and sit your ass down somewhere. Teach the children they don't need all this extra stuff. Tell them that in order for future generations to have some type of power, somebody got to sacrifice. Because if we don't, especially as foundational Black Americans, we're going to be over with. We trying to play a game. Here's somebody playing the game, and here we are trying to play the same game. But when we try to play the game, we are never going to go here. We can't do it. And it's like foundational Black Americans won't admit that you can't play the game the way America telling you the game. You can't do that. You can't buy your wife all that jewelry because you don't sell jewelry. So your money's never coming back. But the race of people that sell jewelry, that own the jewelry store, they could do it. You can't buy all them cars because you don't have a car. They got cars, so they can afford to keep buying cars because the money goes back to them. No matter how many Benzes or whatever they buy, it stays within their race. Name the black car. Okay, you want to get married, or you grow up, you want to have a nice car. Name the black one. Name the car that you could buy where your children and your relatives get any investment from that car. Because whatever car you buy, you can bet whites is making money from it. You can bet. Any car you buy, any home you buy, any jewelry you buy, they get money. It's circulating within their race. It's not circulating in our race. It's set up like that. It's a scam. The only people that's getting rich is the ones that know it's a scam. They're the only ones. The ones that don't care about trying to keep up with the Joneses, them the ones that get somewhere. You going trying to keep up with the Joneses, you leave it from, my parents used to go, work, we go to Alabama, visit a relative. That was a good thing. Come back home, they got to work for so many months, what? To pay off the credit cards they used. By the time they use the credit cards, pay them off, work so much, time for another vacation, same cycle. Others, they'll sit still. They'll save the money. He buys stocks here. He puts stocks there. He got a trust fund. He don't go nowhere. Put the money in the trust fund. Put the money here. Next thing you see him, he's rich. You wonder how the hell he rich? Because he didn't do all that. He put that money back and made that money grow. He didn't run around like a fool like that. You went to the concerts. He threw the concerts. You went to the concerts. He got the sound equipment at the concerts. You just a spectator. He's an investor. There's those of you that go to the concert, and there's those of us that throw the concert. That's two different. You have two businesses in America. You have one set of businesses where you go work for somebody and get paid. Okay? They talked about this in Baby Boy. In America, there's two businesses. There's one set of businesses where you go work a 9 to 5 and you get paid for your work. Then there's another business that collects your money after you get paid, right? So there's businesses where you go get the money, and then there's businesses that take that money from you when you go get it. This is a fact. This is an absolute fact. If you think I'm lying, one day when you off, on a Friday, take your car. You know, in all these cities, they got the little spot, right? In these cities, they got these little spots, right? Where it's the clubs. It might be 2 or 3 clubs on the street. One day, just go where they got the clubs, go park down there, 11 o'clock in the morning, and just chill. Go get some food and stuff, sit in the car. Just sit in the car till about 5, back and forth, or walk around. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see trucks pull up, and you're going to see them doing what? Hauling the liquor in there for when everybody get off work, right? They're going to be rolling that liquor in there early in the day on the club strip, rolling that liquor in there. So when you get off work, you come to what? Come to his bar, his club, and buy that liquor. While you working, he's setting up to make your money when you get off work. That's the man that sell the substances, the man that sell the liquor, the women that sell their bodies. There's people that only make money from you once you make money. There's whole businesses, that's the concerts, all the fun are businesses. But they're businesses based on taking your money after you go make money at another business. That's their job. That's what I've done. That was my job. You go, you work every day, and then on the weekend you come to the festivals and give me the money. I could just chill all week. I don't gotta go to work. I see you Saturday and Sunday at the festival. You out there working like a dog Saturday and Sunday. I work 2 days, sell $7,000 worth of stuff, $5,000 worth of stuff. Go watch Baby Boy tell you. I'm telling you. And so what Foundational Black Americans got to do, you got to shut down. You're giving them people too much money. We giving our money back in and out, in and out. We need to shut down. We need to shut down so we build up some equity and save some money, and we have to shut down for respect. Nobody going to respect you when they know you're going to bring your money. This is why America don't respect Foundational Black Americans, because we keep just giving our money. We keep giving our money. Respect you for what? You're going to bring that money. This is why they sell our women hairstyles. Because with a hairstyle, she got to come every week or at least every 2 weeks. She got to. The barbershop, you got to come get that fresh hair. They sell you stuff and you got to go do this. That's free money. They're making millions of dollars off of the black women and women, period, getting their nails done, getting their toes done, getting their hair done. They just taking her money. Made a total fool out the woman. Making a total fool. When I was growing up, guess who did my mama's nails? Guess who did my sister's nails? My mother did. Guess who did their hair? They did. They wasn't going giving away money. That started popping in the 80s. We tried to ban Gucci and all. Brother went against that. And it's all right to buy nice clothes every now and then, but you have to regulate how much going out, how much going in. It's all right to go out, but you have to regulate, because if you don't pay attention, you'll be doing it too much. That's why it's important for us to have our own businesses, because some of this stuff you're not going to learn until you have your own business. As a hustler, somebody that sold substances, somebody that sold t-shirts, somebody that sold incense, oil, all that. I'm a businessman. And so I can't go everywhere I go. Because I'm a businessman, if I go with a woman somewhere, we like two different people. She's nothing like me. I kid you not. If you was a woman, you was dating me, and I took you to a restaurant. When we walk in the restaurant, me and you gonna see two different things. The first thing I'm gonna see is how much money they make. That's a fact. So it's not really fun dating me and stuff like that, because I'm never there like you're there. So if I walk in a restaurant and it's a busy day, and I go in there, it's only 2 or 3 people in there, I'm like, damn, they ain't making no money. But if I walk in a restaurant, it's packed, I'm like, eee. I'm not really paying attention to me going to a restaurant. I'm looking like, ooh, they get money up in here. That's the first thing I'm going to see. Any business I go through, naturally, my natural instinct is to see how successful it is. I'm never a customer first. I'm always an economic observer. I don't care what it is. I'm counting their dollars. It's just a natural instinct. It's the first thing I notice. Whereas I'm with a woman, she ain't going to notice that, because typically most women that I've been around, they are spenders. They have to work for somebody and spend. They work for somebody and spend. They don't be making it like that. I'm sure women that do hair and stuff, they see like how I see. But women that work a typical job, a job is designed for you to keep the system going. That's why if you go downtown Chicago or you go anywhere, everybody go to work, all the businesses there eat off of you when you go to work, right? You got to buy lunch, you got to take transportation, you got to buy gas to get to work, so they make money. So when you look, I'm giving y'all a lot of game, and you look and you say, the American economy tanked. The reason the American economy tanked is because when COVID came, everybody started working from home. When everybody started working from home, there's nobody down there to buy lunch. There's nobody taking the buses. So the bus company lost money, the taxi company, all the people sold lunch lost money. When men and women would get off work, you go downtown and you go buy a shirt or a tie. But if you ain't downtown, you can't spend no money downtown. Chicago downtown went flat broke. Then the companies was paying money for the office. So once the companies realized that they could just give my queen a computer and she could just go home and she could work from home, they're like, why should I pay rent when all my employees could work from home? And I don't got to pay electric bill. They suckers, they pay electric bill. None of these people work from home ask for allowance for electricity. Think about that. Because I had a queen, she worked from home. And they didn't pay her no electric. They supposed to give her electric allowance. She got all this stuff plugged up on her electric. They don't got to pay electric bill. They don't got to pay rent for the building. So when COVID was over, they started telling them come back downtown, but they realized, no, don't come back downtown. Stay home. So now, since they ain't got to come back downtown, all downtown is closed. Downtown Chicago is a ghost town. You know why? Because of COVID. People never came back to work. If people don't go back to work, who gonna buy popcorn? Who gonna buy caramel corn? Who gonna buy lunch? Who gonna buy clothes? Ain't nobody down there. Clothing sales down. Boop. America lost billions of dollars in clothes. You know why? Because if I work from home, do I need any pants on right now? Do I got pants on? Or do I got my pajamas on? Or do I got some shorts on? Am I just clean from here down? Do I got any decent shoes on right now? Do I even have any pants on? I don't need nothing but this. I'm giving y'all gang. Yes, I got pants on, but I don't have to, is my point. So if foundational Black Americans don't come up with no economical plan and start working on economics, it's going to be a wrap. It ain't no way you're going to get no reparations and no fall in the economy. They're not going to respect you. So that's it for that. Y'all stay positive. And you need to keep pushing reparations. People trying to discourage us from reparations. We shouldn't be getting discouraged. The next generation should not have to come and fight for reparations because we weaked out. We need to stand strong on reparations. Facts.